Are you ready to uncover the secrets that could transform your life forever? The truth is, there's a divine plan unfolding around you, even if you don't realize it yet. Every choice you make, every step you take, is guided by higher forces that are working relentlessly to either elevate you or keep you trapped in a cycle of confusion and limitation. You may have felt it before, the moments of clarity where everything seems to align, only to have everything fall apart again. It's not random. It's spiritual warfare, and it's time to stop living in the dark. The fact that you've come across this message is no accident. This is not just another video. This is a divine sign meant specifically for you. You were chosen to hear these words, and by the time you finish, you will have the clarity to break free from the chains that have been holding you back. Your journey isn't like everyone else's. You are meant to walk a different path, one that requires awakening to higher truths and embracing your divine calling. As a chosen one, you are not meant to live a life of mediocrity. You are called to rise above the noise, the distractions, and the spiritual traps set to drain your energy and keep you from realizing your true potential. But there are 7 forbidden actions, hidden spiritual traps, that you must avoid at all costs. These actions are carefully designed by unseen forces to block your blessings, slow down your progress, and keep you stuck in the same old patterns. Imagine for a moment, what would it feel like to finally break free from the cycle of doubt, confusion, and spiritual exhaustion? What if you could step into your power with confidence, fully aligned with your divine purpose? Picture a life where everything seems to flow effortlessly, where your energy is abundant, and every door you knock on opens wide. It's possible, but only if you know what to avoid, and more importantly, if you understand the unseen forces at work around you. This video is your wake-up call. It's time to stop second-guessing yourself and start embracing the truth about your divine path. You may have felt disconnected, as though something is off, or that the world just doesn't understand you. You are not alone. Many chosen ones experience these feelings, often thinking it's just bad luck or unfortunate circumstances. But let me tell you, what you're experiencing is spiritual resistance. This resistance doesn't come from the world around you. It comes from the forces that want to keep you trapped and distracted. The truth is, there is a higher frequency that you are meant to operate on. A frequency where blessings, abundance, and divine guidance flow freely, but only if you align with it. Once you understand these 7 forbidden actions and learn to avoid them, your life will transform in ways you never thought possible. Your energy will shift, your path will become clear, and doors you once thought were impossible to open will swing wide open. The universe is ready to bless you, but you must first clear the blocks that have been holding you back. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal these 7 forbidden actions, spiritual traps that are preventing you from stepping into your true power. These actions may seem innocent or even harmless, but trust me, they are draining your energy and blocking the very blessings that are meant to elevate you. It's time to stop living in the dark, to stop allowing these spiritual traps to rule your life, and to start living in the light of your true purpose. The world may try to convince you that these things don't matter, that intuition is just a feeling or that energy is just a vibe. But deep down, you know better. You've felt the shifts, seen the signs and experienced moments where the universe spoke to you so clearly that you couldn't ignore it. Now is the time to embrace that truth, to step into your divine calling with full faith and confidence. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what you need to do to protect your energy, reclaim your spiritual power, and align yourself with your highest purpose. So, if you're ready to unlock the secrets of your true divine potential, I invite you to watch closely and take this message to heart. The universe is speaking to you, and this is your chance to finally listen. Let's begin this journey together, step by step, action by action, toward a life of clarity, purpose, and divine elevation. Don't let this moment pass you by. Let the awakening begin. In our lives, we often experience moments of peace and clarity, when everything seems to align perfectly. It's as if the universe itself is whispering its approval, and for a fleeting moment we feel invincible. But then, unexpectedly, everything crumbles. That sense of harmony vanishes, and we are left struggling with confusion, disappointment, and a sense of powerlessness. This sudden shift is not a random occurrence, nor is it just a result of bad luck. What we are experiencing is the profound and invisible reality of spiritual warfare. Spiritual warfare is an ongoing battle that takes place in the unseen realms of our lives, a battle between forces of good and evil that influences our thoughts, our emotions, and our decisions. Many of us might not even realize this battle is happening. It's not always something we can see, but the impact it has on us is profound. We often think of spiritual warfare as something distant, but in reality, it is something that touches our everyday lives in ways we don't always understand. You may have sensed it yourself, the moments when it seems as though everything is going well, but just as you're about to take a step forward, you encounter a sudden roadblock. This is not just a natural occurrence. It is a reflection of the spiritual war taking place behind the scenes. The enemy often works subtly, manipulating circumstances to derail you, clouding your vision and causing confusion. This battle is real, and it's happening not just on a grand scale, but in the small everyday moments of life. It's in the thoughts that seem to come out of nowhere, the doubts that whisper in your ear, and the obstacles that appear out of the blue. Sometimes this spiritual battle manifests itself in our resistance to blessings. We might wonder why, after putting in so much effort, things seem to stall. It's as though the very things we desire and pray for are just out of reach. This resistance is often the result of negative forces at work, trying to keep us trapped in a cycle of delay and discouragement. These forces thrive on our weaknesses, our fear, our impatience, our doubt, and they use these emotions to hold us back from stepping into the fullness of our blessings. But the truth is, we have more power than we realize. Every action we take, every thought we allow to linger, can either draw us closer to or further away from the blessings that God has promised us. The enemy knows this, which is why he works so hard to keep us in a state of confusion, to delay our progress, and to keep us from realizing the true potential we hold. And so we must be vigilant. We must recognize when we are under attack and take the necessary steps to protect ourselves spiritually. This is where the message of spiritual awakening becomes so important. When we begin to recognize the forces at work in our lives, we can take back control. We can stop allowing negative influences to have power over us. We must become aware of the actions, thoughts, and habits that open doors to these negative forces. By identifying these areas, we can reclaim our spiritual strength and redirect our focus toward the divine path that God has set before us. The Bible speaks clearly about the importance of guarding our hearts and minds. Proverbs 4:23 reminds us to guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. This verse underscores the vital need for awareness in our spiritual lives. If we allow negativity or harmful influences to invade our hearts and minds, we open ourselves up to spiritual attacks that can derail our journey. On the other hand, when we choose to fill our hearts with peace, truth, and faith, we empower ourselves to overcome the struggles and challenges that arise. One of the key responsibilities we have as spiritual beings is to protect our energy, our spiritual vitality. This energy is sacred, and we must not allow it to be drained or corrupted by the enemy. The Bible speaks of the armor of God in Ephesians 6:11, encouraging us to put on the full armor of God, so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. This armor is our defense against the negative forces that seek to destroy our peace and prevent us from living according to God's purpose for us. By putting on this armor, we actively engage in spiritual warfare. We choose to fight against. There are moments in life when we feel uncertain, confused, or overwhelmed. It's in these moments that we must remember the sacred guidance that God has gifted us and recognize the power within us to make wise choices. Yet, often, we allow ourselves to stray from this divine path, forgetting the silent whispers of our hearts and the truth that God has set before us. Today, I want to talk about 7 actions, 7 choices that we must avoid in order to live a life aligned with God's will and purpose. First and foremost, one of the most dangerous things we can do is ignore our intuition. Our intuition is a divine gift, a silent whisper within that guides us along the path of righteousness. It is the small, still voice of the Holy Spirit calling us towards the right decisions, leading us away from temptation and showing us the way even when the world seems clouded with confusion. Ignoring this divine guidance is akin to turning away from God's hand when He offers it to us. When we refuse to listen to that inner voice, we open ourselves up to making decisions that can lead us down a path of regret, confusion, and missed opportunities. We allow our fears, doubts, and distractions to take the place of the divine direction that was meant for us. And in doing so, we not only make poor choices, but we also miss out on the incredible blessings that God has placed along our path. It's in these moments that we must remember the wisdom found in Proverbs 3:5-6, which tells us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." This isn't merely a suggestion, it is a command to trust in the sacred guidance that God has provided within us, to listen carefully to that voice, and to trust that He will lead us through every trial and every triumph. When we ignore our intuition, we distance ourselves from the divine plan that God has intended for us, and we risk walking through life with blinders on, missing the path of light He has illuminated for us. Secondly, we must avoid surrounding ourselves with energy-draining people. These are the individuals who come into our lives with their own needs, but never offer anything in return. They take from us without giving back, depleting our spirits and leaving us exhausted and disheartened. These relationships can feel draining and one-sided, leaving us feeling emotionally and spiritually depleted. The Bible warns us about the company we keep, urging us to walk with those who uplift and inspire us, not those who weigh us down. Proverbs 13:20 reminds us, "Whoever walks with the wise becomes wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm." God calls us to love others, to serve them with kindness, and to be generous with our time and our hearts. But He also calls us to guard our hearts, for they are precious in His sight. We are not meant to carry the burdens of others alone, and we are not meant to be in relationships that drain us of our energy without any reciprocity. When we spend too much time with people who take without giving, we find ourselves spiritually exhausted and unable to fulfill the greater purpose God has called us to. It is vital that we recognize these toxic relationships and make the choice to set boundaries, protecting our hearts from unnecessary harm. Third, we must avoid doubting our divine purpose. Every single one of us has a divine calling, a purpose that God has specifically designed for our lives. This purpose may not always be clear from the start, and there may be times when we feel lost or uncertain about what we are meant to do. But doubt is the enemy of faith, and when we doubt the purpose God has placed in our hearts, we weaken our ability to move forward. Doubt creates fear. Fear paralyzes us, and before we know it, we have stopped moving altogether. We abandon our goals, we lose sight of our dreams, and we give up on the very reason why God has placed us here. James 1:6 encourages us to have unwavering faith, saying, "But when you ask, you must believe and not doubt, because the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind." When we doubt the calling of God on our lives, we lose our sense of direction, and we allow the winds of uncertainty to carry us off course. It is essential that we recognize that God's plans for us are not only good, but are designed to bring us into His perfect will. We must trust in His guidance, even when we can't see the full picture, and move forward with faith in our hearts, knowing that He is faithful to complete the work He has started in us. In my own life, I've felt the weight of these three actions many times. I've ignored my intuition, only to regret the choices I made. I've surrounded myself with people who drained my energy, leaving me tired and discouraged. And I've doubted my purpose, allowing fear to take hold and prevent me from moving forward. But through it all, I've learned that God is faithful. He is patient with us when we falter, and He always offers His hand of grace to guide us back to the path of righteousness. As we journey through life, let us remember that we are not alone. We are not meant to navigate this world without God's guidance. We are not meant to carry the weight of our burdens alone. And we are certainly not meant to walk through life without knowing the divine purpose He has placed in our hearts. We are called to listen to the voice within, to protect our hearts from those who drain us, and to walk in faith, trusting that God's plans for us are good. By avoiding these three actions, ignoring our intuition, staying with energy-draining people, and doubting our divine purpose, we open ourselves to a deeper relationship with God and a greater understanding of the purpose He has called us to. Through His guidance, we will find peace, strength, and fulfillment in the path He has set before us. And when we choose to walk in His ways, we will experience the abundant life He has promised. In our journey through life, especially as we walk in faith, we face challenges that seem small, but have a deep and profound impact on our spiritual well-being. These challenges, when ignored or underestimated, can lower our spiritual frequency, distancing us from our divine purpose. It is vital for us, as believers, to recognize these hindrances and resist them, as they can cloud our vision and steal the peace that God intends for us. One of the most deceptive actions we can fall into is engaging in idle gossip. It is so easy to slip into conversations that speak ill of others, especially when we hear news that triggers negative emotions. But as believers, we are called to speak life into every situation. Proverbs 20:19 warns us, "A gossip betrays a confidence, so avoid anyone who talks too much." Every word we speak has the potential to uplift or tear down. By gossiping, we not only waste our time, but we also bring negative energy into our lives. Instead, we should use our time wisely, speaking words that bring healing, encouragement, and love, aligning ourselves with the divine calling God has placed on our hearts. Another perilous action is the suppression of our true selves. Living inauthentically causes confusion and spiritual exhaustion. When we suppress our true nature, we disconnect from the very essence of who God created us to be. John 8:32 reminds us, "Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." Only when we embrace our true identity in Christ can we step into the fullness of our purpose. When we live inauthentically, we carry a burden that weighs us down. But when we embrace who we are in Christ, we experience freedom. Freedom to live out the unique calling He has placed on our lives. We also often overlook the spiritual warfare that takes place around us. These attacks may come in many forms: chaos, anxiety, sudden setbacks, but they are real, and they seek to weaken our resolve and steal our joy. Ephesians 6:12 reminds us, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." These attacks are not to be taken lightly. If we ignore them, We become vulnerable to the enemy's schemes. However, we are not left defenseless. We are equipped with the armor of God, and with prayer and faith, we can stand firm against these attacks. Ignoring them only makes us more vulnerable and disconnected from God's purpose. By staying alert and equipped with the armor of God, we can stand firm in our faith and rise above these attacks. Another challenge we must face is the resistance to growth and change. Change is uncomfortable and often leads us into the unknown. But God's plan for our lives includes growth, and change is an essential part of this process. Isaiah 43:19 speaks to this when God declares, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it?" Change is often a sign that God is working in our lives. It may feel uncomfortable at first, but it is through change that we are refined and made stronger. Resisting change keeps us stuck in the past, but embracing it opens the door to new opportunities and spiritual growth. When we resist change, we limit God's ability to work in and through us. But when we embrace the new things He is doing, we step into the fullness of His plan for our lives. In every area of life, we must be mindful of the actions that hinder our growth, weaken our faith, and distract us from our divine calling. Whether it's idle gossip, suppressing our true selves, ignoring spiritual warfare, or resisting change, each of these obstacles can keep us from living the life that God intends for us. But God has given us the tools to overcome these challenges: His Word, His Spirit, and the power of prayer. As we navigate through life, let us be vigilant in recognizing and resisting the actions that pull us away from our purpose. Let us choose to live with authenticity, embrace change, and remain firm in our faith as we fight the spiritual battles that come our way. And in doing so, we will find peace, purpose, and fulfillment in the path that God has set before us. As you stand at the threshold of a new chapter in your life, remember, this moment is not just a casual turning point. It's a divine call to action. You've been given the keys to unlock your full potential, and now the choice is in your hands. It's time to stop waiting for the perfect moment, because that moment is now. The universe is speaking to you, offering you guidance, clarity, and a chance to break free from the patterns that have kept you stuck. The question is, will you choose to step into your power, or will you allow the distractions of the world to keep you on the same path of stagnation? The actions you take from here will define the trajectory of your journey. You've heard the warning and you've received the wisdom. Every step you take from this point forward should be rooted in alignment with your true purpose. It's no longer about surviving, it's about thriving. You are not here to simply exist, but to rise, to lead, and to manifest a life that is not limited by doubt, fear, or the constraints of the past. This is your time to embrace the fullness of who you are, to stand strong in your truth, and to trust in the divine plan that has been laid out for you. Now is the moment to make a decision that will not only transform your life, but also elevate the energy around you. The world may try to pull you back. It may try to convince you that you're not ready, or that you don't deserve what you're about to receive. But you know better. You are destined for more. Your intuition, your divine purpose, and the universe itself have already confirmed it. You were never meant to live in fear, doubt, or confusion. You were meant to break free from the chains that have held you back and to rise with power, clarity, and purpose. The power to change is within you, and the choice is yours. Will you continue to give your energy away to things, people, and situations that no longer serve you? Will you keep engaging in behaviors that keep you stuck in cycles of negativity and limitation? Or will you make the bold decision to protect your energy, trust your intuition, and step fully into your purpose? The time for waiting is over. Now is the time to take action and live in alignment with your divine calling. Embrace this moment of clarity. Let it serve as your wake-up call, your opportunity to make a shift that will ripple through every area of your life. Whether it's your relationships, your career, or your spiritual journey, everything will change once you choose to embrace your true self and stop resisting the growth that is waiting for you. The universe is always ready to bless you, but it can only do so when you are aligned with your purpose and open to receiving what it has in store for you. The divine path ahead of you is not without challenges, but it is a path that is meant for you. You will encounter obstacles, but each challenge will only serve to strengthen you and sharpen your focus. There will be moments when you feel like giving up, when doubt creeps in and the path ahead seems unclear. But in those moments, remember that you were chosen for a reason. Your mission is greater than any obstacle you may face. You have everything you need to overcome the challenges, and you are always supported by the divine. As you move forward, remember to honor your intuition, trust the wisdom within you, and always choose to protect your energy. Surround yourself with people who elevate you, and let go of those who drain you. Step away from distractions and low vibrational activities, and instead, immerse yourself in what brings you peace, joy, and spiritual growth. This is the path to true freedom, and it is within your reach. You are a force of nature, a being of light with a purpose that only you can fulfill. The world needs your unique gifts, your insight, and your strength. The more you embrace who you truly are, the more the universe will conspire to bring you the blessings, opportunities, and support you deserve. The universe has already set the stage for your success, and now it's your turn to take the first step toward claiming it. The power to transform your life is in your hands. Embrace it, live boldly, walk in your truth, and know that you are divinely supported every step of the way. This is your time to shine, to rise above the limitations, and to step into the greatness that is meant for you. So, take a deep breath, align with your highest self, and move forward with confidence. The journey ahead is waiting for you, and it is filled with endless possibilities. Trust that you are exactly where you need to be, and everything is unfolding just as it should. This is your moment. Let go of the past, release the doubts, and embrace the path that has been prepared for you. Your divine purpose is calling. Answer it with all your heart, and watch your life transform in ways you never thought possible. The time is now. Go forth with courage, faith, and the unshakable belief that you are destined for greatness. The universe is on your side and your power is undeniable. Step into it now.